Sophie, thank you. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Look North. Our top story tonight. Families fight to save 2 care homes from closure as Kirklees Council battles to save millions.
The idea of her being displaced and uprooted from her home, it's heartbreaking, and I fear that deterioration that I've seen in her before is going to happen again.
We're live at the latest council meeting in Kirklees where protesters have gathered. Also tonight, 8 months on, the family still living with dangerous mould and damp in their home. I try my hand at dairy farming in my latest Children in Need job swap.
Well, despite the fact there's been a lot of cloud today, there was enough brightness to produce this wonderful rainbow in Huddersfield this morning. Don't forget that detailed forecast in the next 20 minutes.
Hello, thanks for your company this evening. Campaigners have gathered again outside a council meeting in Huddersfield this evening to make their objections to potential closures of leisure centres and care homes clear. Kirklees Council is battling to save almost £50 million to avoid effectively having to declare itself bankrupt. Today, the Prime Minister said residents deserve better.
Mr. Speaker, I share my honourable friend's disappointment with the Labour-run council in Kirklees. Just this week, we saw, I believe, a Labour councillor suspended for anti-Semitism. As he said, they've also closed the Dewsbury Sports Centre and are proposing to increase car parking charges, punishing local businesses and shoppers in the run-up to Christmas. The council is clearly no longer fit for purpose, and local residents deserve better.
Our West Yorkshire political reporter Gemma Dillon is outside that meeting for us now. Gemma, for many people, this is personal, isn't it?
Well, Amy, yeah, I've been covering council meetings for over a decade now, and it's rare, if ever, I've seen quite so many people turn up on a freezing cold November night to make their anger clear. Anger over proposed cuts to services they rely on. Proposals to close 3 leisure centres in Batley, Dewsbury and the Combe Valley, to close council buildings, and proposals to close 2 care homes. I've been speaking to families whose loved ones are being looked after at Castle Grange and Claremont House Nursing Home about why they think they should stay open.
He was placed into Castle Grange, which was a saving grace. He'd been there on respite before, so it wasn't a fully new location, but it was still difficult. He wanted to come home all the time. So a transition to any home will be like that. But he's all of a sudden, in the last month, settled, loves it. We go around, I've gone from being the carer, I'm now his daughter. Well, when he remembers, I'm his daughter.
Mum got diagnosed in 2017 and it was 2022 she moved in to Castle Grange. So she was diagnosed at 60 and we cared for her at home till she was 66. We looked at so many providers and we were under the impression, because we were fee payers, we'd have such a pick that we would be like, oh, I can't choose. There's so much choice. There's so many options for us, and that just wasn't the case. Everywhere we went said that they couldn't take Mum because of her behaviours. And we went then to Castle Grange, and I'll be honest, I thought, council run home, no thank you, this won't be good. And I went, and it was amazing. They were so welcoming. They understood that Mum had a big family and we wanted to visit. They knew I had young children and showed me the garden. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can take my children to see their nana without worrying.
John and me, better days. My family fought for us to keep him at home. And I gave in. And do you know what? I don't know why I did half the stuff that I did, because I should have given in earlier. Really should have given in earlier, because this home is amazing. And it gave me back something, me. It gave me back me. It did not give me back John, because he's gone. He's still there, but he's not my John that I married. He's my new John.
I needed a home that would take both, because there was absolutely no way we could separate somebody that had been married for 70 years, they'd been together for 74, And the only home that would take them was Claremont. And so then they came here. My dad passed away here. The care that we got was amazing. I couldn't cope with my mum's grief because she was looking for him. But every day looking for him, even though she knew he'd passed away. It was really difficult. The staff here were amazing.
In the end, I felt really guilty, but I said, Mum, it's making me ill. You really can't live at home anymore. And I felt so guilty for saying that. But she then said, if it's making you ill, I'll do it. And she moved to Castle Grange, and within a week, she said, can't believe I didn't do this before. Being there, she's settled, she's happy. The idea of her being displaced and uprooted from her home, because it is her home and those people are her family, it's heartbreaking. And I fear that deterioration that I've seen in her before is going to happen again.
Well, the council have told us that consultation over the proposed closure of the care homes is running until the new year, and up till then their priority remains the health and well-being of those residents. Now, I'm joined now by Tanisha Bramwell, who's one of the coordinators against the cuts here in Kirklees. Tanisha, there was a lot of noise here tonight. Is anyone in that council meeting listening?
Honestly, I hope so, but it doesn't look like they are, to be honest. The consultation that's already been delivered for the leisure centres and that is currently out for the care homes is not fit for purpose. And despite going to scrutiny panels, the community is not being listened to. All we want to say to the council is listen to your constituents and listen to your local people.
Thank you. Well, the council would also add that these decisions are being taken after 13 years of Conservative government's austerity, which has seen hundreds of millions of pounds taken out of their budgets. And councils across Yorkshire who have funding gaps of their own will be watching very closely what happens here, because they could be facing difficult decisions of their own over the next few months.
Gosh, those fan testaments were so touching. Gemma, thank you. Next tonight, a family is still in a Sheffield flat 8 months after medical experts said it was not safe to live in. It's because of the mould and damp conditions in every room. Syed and his family fled from Afghanistan in 2021. After reported on their situation 6 months ago, they were moved out of the flat. But he's since been forced to return, and the mould problem is also back. Here's Mark Ansell.
There's mould growing in the bedding. The walls are stained from repeated cleaning. This is meant to be a safe haven for Syed, who worked for the British government in Kabul and fled from the Taliban with his family. They're grateful for the roof over their head, but living here is a health hazard.
I'm worried about my children's future, because now they are not good. Especially during the night, they are not breathing well. And my son Mustafa, every night he's crying. He said, I don't want to sleep the smelly bed and the wet bed.
When you walk around the house, you smell this really dank, nasty, mouldy smell. And when you breathe in, you can feel the dampness across your chest. Their GP has been to visit the flat, and in a letter from the practice last month, it says Syed's older son has a persistent cough, struggles with his breathing at night, has a skin infection, and that these are likely to be caused by the damp living conditions. Family friend Beth has been trying to help.
Really worried. I mean, he's talked about sort of news stories, things like that, about the impact of damp and mould, and they are living in chronic damp and mould. I fully believe they're doing everything they can to get rid of. Regularly cleaning, going and seeing all the various people they need to speak to try and get it sorted, and nothing is happening.
After we reported on the story 6 months ago, the family were moved out for 2 months, but made to come back when repairs had been done. However, the damp and mould problem soon returned. Doctors are seriously concerned about how dangerous living conditions like this are for children.
This very vulnerable period of their life affects the way that their lungs and airways develop, and this manifests itself as long-term, lifelong even conditions. And the worry that we have with that is that it can lead to a shortening of their healthy life expectancy or even their life expectancy.
Having escaped the dangers of the Taliban, Syed and his family face a different threat, even closer to home. Mark Ansell, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Well, the landlord, Roger Wiley, told us a lot of money spent on the house, so it's free from damp and mould, and he's let the house for 25 years and hasn't had a problem. In a statement, the council says we are treating all reports of damp and mould seriously. This particular property is not council-owned, however, they are supporting the tenant and the landlord to ensure all issues are rectified. It is disappointing to see that the issues have returned after work was done by the landlord. We're contacting the tenant as a matter of urgency, as well as the landlord of the property, to ensure that all that can be done is being arranged. Next tonight, a man who was arrested yesterday on suspicion of manslaughter over the death of ice hockey player Adam Johnson has been released on police bail. The Nottingham Panthers player's neck was injured by a skate during a collision with Sheffield Steelers' Matt Petgrave on the 28th of October. The 29-year-old was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Nottingham Panthers have previously described Johnson's death as a freak accident. The coroner, in the inquest into the death of Gracie Spinks, who was murdered near Chesterfield, has told a jury it should only return a conclusion that she was unlawfully killed. Matthew Cooley said he was in effect telling the jurors that Miss Spinks died as a result of being stabbed by the former colleague Michael Sellers in June 2021. Sellers' body was found a short distance away later the same day and he's thought to have killed himself. Miss Spinks had previously reported Sellers to the police, saying he was obsessed with her. The jurors have retired to consider their findings. Now, Friday is a big night for some young people across Yorkshire who've been nominated for this year's Young Asian Achiever Awards. The Yayas, as they've become known, celebrate those who've overcome disadvantage or broken through barriers. Earlier, I spoke with some of those involved.
We're celebrating success, young people of Asian, South Asian background from the Yorkshire area who've overcome challenges and barriers and difficulties to be able to break into the field of work that they are working in and are successful in, and to showcase that social mobility is very much possible if you've got the right mindset, the enthusiasm, the desire, the support to actually progress and do well.
Mohammed, you are a perfect example of that. You've been nominated for Overcoming Life Obstacles Award. You clearly don't let your disability get in the way, do you? You do all sorts of things.
Yeah, I do all sorts of things. I do rock climbing, I do swimming, all sorts of kind of activity in gym. So I don't let my disability define me. I don't let it be a barrier to myself.
Well, you're a really fabulous role model in that respect.
Thank you very much.
Mohammed,
Yeah.
how important is it for you to be recognised in an awards like this?
It's recognized. Everyone hasn't been recognized for this award, so I'm here just for the people around the UK who's in my kind of position, who has a disability. But I wanna show everyone that you are able to do this.
Yeah, and live life to the full.
Yep, you can.
Tanisha, you're nominated in the Achievement in Sport category. Tell us why you've been nominated.
So I've been trying to work, I'm the York Sport Union president. That means I'm the sports president for the University of York. In this role, I'm the first South Asian woman to have this role ever. And one of my main concepts of having this role was to really promote equality and diversity and inclusiveness in sport. I am working with a lot of LGBTQ communities, people of color, people with disabilities, just to promote their well-being and also see how massive positive impact sports has on an individual. And just, promote everybody and make sure that sports is a place for everybody.
Adiba, what a brilliant example of why it's so important to have these awards and recognise and celebrate people like this.
Absolutely, and it's the fourth year that we're doing this, and we've had great support from sponsors, the communities, employers, and these two people here are just one of many examples. So we've got sport, we've got overcoming life obstacles, we've got health, education, private sector, all the different kind of aspects of our society where we're seeing young people who are doing well despite the challenges and the barriers that they've had to face.
Well, I hear it's a brilliant party, so best of luck on the night.
Thank you.
And congratulations for getting this far.
Thank you very much.
Let's turn to football now. We have 3 more teams through to the FA Cup second round, thanks to them winning their replays last night. York City are the ones celebrating the loudest. They haven't reached this stage of the famous competition since 2010. Paul Ogden has a pick of the action.
York City didn't waste any time against Chester in exploiting the incentive of a televised second round tie against Wigan that was already on offer for the winners. City were ahead within 5 minutes through striker Lionel John Lewis. The same player later doubled York's lead with a nice piece of poaching after the Chester keeper's mistake. And though Chester pulled one back to test City's nerve, they held on and will host League One Wigan, the FA Cup winners of 10 years ago, on Friday night, the 1st of December. That same weekend, Barnsley will also be in round 2 action away at Sutton. The Reds showed a different kind of resolve last night, having been chosen for live TV coverage in the hope that there might have been a classic FA Cup giant killing by their hosts Horsham, but Barnsley were having none of it, going 2-0 up inside the opening 10 minutes thanks to Nicky Cadden and John McAtee, 3-0 inside half an hour, and that's how it stayed. Job done with terrific stubbornness by Barnsley. Doncaster Rovers also won an awkward and even longer replay, 2-1 at Accrington. Zane Westbrook forced extra time with a second-half equaliser for Rovers. Joe Ironside's winner sets them up a tie away to Peterborough United in round 2. But Scarborough Athletics FA Cup is over after their 5-2 replay defeat at Forest Green. Scarborough were already 4-0 down last night before Alex Wiles' pre-interval goal, Michael Coulson scoring Scarborough's second in the 5-2 defeat. Paul Ogden, BBC Look North.
Children in Need is just 2 days away now, and this year's theme is Challenge Yourself. So all week I've been doing job swaps. Yesterday working in a chippy, today as a dairy farmer. So this is a job swap. It's over to my farming friend James.
Hi, I run a family business, Milk from the Hills in Penistone. I'm the 3rd generation of dairy farmers at Kidfield Farm. We work 365 days a year and it's a mucky job, but you can't be working in the outdoors and with the animals. Let's see how Amy got on as a farmhand.
Morning, James.
Good morning.
I'm really looking forward to this.
It's going to be a big old day today. You ready?
What can I do?
Right, well, the first task, I think, is to go and check the cows are all right. Bit of a chilly morning, though, so I thought we'd provide you with this hat to keep you going.
Officially part of the team. Thank you.
So, yeah, we're going to have a look and see how they all are. First job. We need to make sure that where the cows are laid are as clean as we possibly can.
What if the cows are in there?
They'll let you work round them. They're quite quiet.
God, that smell, James.
I can't smell anything right now.
You can't smell that?
No, I think I'm immune.
Oh, wow. Morning has broken. Oh, she's up.
Wow.
She's reversing.
She's all right.
Oh, God, there's cows everywhere.
There you go.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, done a really good job. So, next thing is, we actually need to get rid of all the muck. So,
Right.
how are you at driving tractors?
Wow. Slope it down. Oh, I've stalled.
You're all right.
No, I'm good.
Just put a few more revs on. That's it. You should be good to go.
Ready to go? Oh, look at that. That is so satisfying, isn't it?
Some fresh straw for the calves. If you just spread that about.
Yeah.
That'll keep them nice and clean and dry for the rest of the day. The last calf to feed today.
Oh, they're all nibbling me. What are you after? It's all very quiet. The girls have been fed. We haven't stopped, have we, James, since we started this morning?
No, we've still got a bit to do yet, actually, but this is just a nice time now.
What do you like about your job, James?
Incredibly varied. There's something different every day, and when you see the cows and what they give back to you as well, it's nice. Sometimes things in farming world can be pretty disastrous and pretty heartbreaking as well. So we've just installed quite a few milk vending machines, so milk and milkshake vending machines. And that's about saved us, if I'm honest. If it wasn't for that, I don't think we'd actually be here. So Yeah, getting emotional now. That's sad, isn't it? Actually,
No, it shows you care, James.
Yeah.
And views like this, there are worse places to work.
There is. Makes you appreciate what we're doing. Right, there's just one last place to look at really in this shed. It's where the magic happens. If you want to come and have a look. So this is now actually currently milking this cow as we stand here. Things have moved on again, moved on a bit from sitting on a stool. So the cow comes in, it cleans the udder off, puts the milking equipment on, milks the cow, disinfects the udder, and then she's on her way again.
All of that work, and this is what it comes down to.
Cheers!
Cheers! We deserve this.
Not half. Oh.
Oh, amazing.
I've not tried for a while. It's actually genuinely quite good, that.
Now, we touched on it there in the piece, but you really have had to diversify to survive, haven't you?
Yeah. It's getting tough for everyone out there, but yeah, dairy farming in itself is, yeah, it's not easy. So no, we had to do something different, and yeah, luckily, the vending machines have paid off. So.
And there was a big queue yesterday, wasn't there, when we were there, of people coming and filling up, and you get lots of local people, and you supply to local farm shops as well.
We do, yeah. No, it's been amazing how much support we've actually got from the general public that's around the farm, and from the farm shops as well. We recently put one in Pharmacopolys, and it's done incredibly well there. So, yeah.
Big question is, who's got the harder job, you or me? Definitely.
I wouldn't want to swap. I wouldn't want to swap. Put it that way.
Neither would I, funnily enough. But it's not every day you get to ride a tractor.
Very true.
So I had a brilliant time. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thanks for coming.
Well, me making a fool of myself is all for children in need, and each year you help us to raise millions of pounds for the charity. Here's another example of how the money is being spent to change lives. In Sheffield, Children Need partners up with Mencap to run a brilliant youth club for children with learning disabilities where they can be just themselves.
Being here is being like a big home because I love it here.
Hi, I'm Carol Cook. I work for Sheffield Mencap and Gateway, and welcome to TGIF. Tonight is one of our children's projects, Thank Gateway It's Friday, named after our adult social club Gateway, that has been running here for over 10 years for children and teenagers who've got a learning disability or autism and would struggle at a mainstream youth club. They just get freedom. They get to just be a part of a youth club and a social space.
I'm Sarah Rains. We have Erin who's here tonight. Do you enjoy coming here?
Yeah.
How much do you like coming here?
Out of a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say 99.9.
All the parents and all the staff, they know our children. They don't just have a child that comes along. They know our children, they get to know our children, they grow with our children, they support our children. It's never ending.
We have parents telling us that this is the only place where their child can be themselves. They spend all week at school masking and trying to fit in, and it's only here where they are accepted for who they are.
Hi, I'm Sarah, I'm Stanley's mum, and he absolutely loves coming to TGIF. He's a teenage boy, and obviously as a teenage boy with a disability, it's really hard for him to get opportunities to meet up with his friends like other kids do, really. So it's just a normal activity that many kids like Stanley can't access.
I'm Phoebe, and this is my brother, Billy. Do you like playing with your friends?
Yeah.
They just accept everyone and that you're just allowed to go play. I look forward to this, so when it's Thursday, I'm like, oh, yeah, tomorrow it's going to be the day I come here. It's right fun.
Children in Need has actually funded TGIF for the last 10 years. A learning disability is a lifelong condition. Children with learning disabilities are always going to need a service and an outlet where they can come. Thank you so much to everybody who donates to BBC Children in Need. We couldn't run TGIF without you.
What a brilliant place that is, and thank you again for everything that you do. All right, Hudson.
I think I preferred, it was, you smelt of lard yesterday. But not
Here
quite,
we go again.
Not quite as bad as the manure when you walked into the office. But we can
It's
tell the
pungent, I
audience
know.
that tomorrow will be the best smell of all, won't it?
Well, if you like fish, you probably like it.
It's quite a colourful piece. You must watch tomorrow night's
And
Look
that
North.
is why I didn't bring you a milkshake, young
Well,
man.
thank you very much. Let me show you a picture of the River Ouse that looks very swollen. I mean, it does this a lot these days, but that's the King's Arms, of course. A lot of water flowing down the River Ouse, and this one is of the River Nid near Kirkhamerton. The floodplain's doing what it should do. You can see the river's just in there, but it's just escaping into the floodplain and sort of alleviating potential flooding further downstream. But there's still quite a bit of rain to come in the coming days. If you've got any pictures you want to send in on Twitter, Instagram and on the Weather Watcher website. So tomorrow looks a reasonably quiet day. There's still going to be a lot of cloud, an annoying amount of cloud that will thicken at times to bring some showers, especially later. We're still looking at Friday. A little ridge of high pressure means it should be the best day of the week, fine-ish with some sunshine, and then it turns wet and windy through Saturday. Sunday, a return of sunshine and blustery showers. Now, in the last few hours, the weather front that's been straddled across us has pepped up a bit, so it's actually a bit of a miserable evening across much of Yorkshire. There's outbreaks of rain and drizzle, some mistiness over the hills as well, and that weather front will just sink its rain southeastwards. It's gradually going to fizzle as we head through the course of the night. With some clear spells later, there might be some mist and patchy fog, with lowest temperatures down to around 4 or 5 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow's high water times then in Filey at 5:38, and again just short of 8 o'clock. So another rather cloudy day, mostly dry, bit of mist at first, but you can see the showers just generally drifting from the North Sea. They could become quite sharp across parts of West and South Yorkshire later in the day. Perhaps the best chance of a bit of brightness might be towards Scarborough and Whitby late on as some cloud breaks come in from the North Sea. We're looking at top afternoon temperatures a little bit on the chilly side. 8 Celsius in Huddersfield, and Leeds is 46 degrees Fahrenheit. So a fine day, mostly on Friday with some sunshine. Wet and windy Saturday, a blustery, unsettled day to come on Sunday. Amy, that's the forecast.
Paul gave it a bit away there. We are saving the best to last. Tomorrow is my 6th and final job swap, and then I'm ready to sleep for a month.
You do right.
Keely is here with the late news from us. Bye-bye.